A couple of pretty significant news items out today about Hims and Hers. The market's not reacting very positively. Shares are down 20%. But keep in mind that year to date, shares are up almost 120%. So we need to keep the short-term performance and the long-term performance of the stock and the company in mind when we're looking at some of these things. Now, the big news and what the market is really reacting to is that semaglutide is coming off shortage. So that's a product that Hims and Hers is probably not likely to be able to sell starting in May, end of May. I'll get to some of those details in a second. But the longer term news, and I think this is where we're seeing the real strategy for Hims and Hers play out, becoming much more of a platform company, not just a specific product company, not just a GLP-1 company, but they acquired a peptide facility. So that's going to allow them to have more capabilities and be more vertically integrated and offer more personalized solutions. This is a long-term trend for them. So I think that's moving in the right direction, but obviously the short-term news is negative for the stock. So let's get to all these details. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. And don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, Asymmetric Investing. There's a link on the screen and a link in the show notes. One of the stocks that I covered there did a spotlight article in May 2024 on Hims and Hers. Stock was trading at $16.88 per share. So this is a stock I own in the Asymmetric portfolio. It's really been one of the drivers of that portfolio there. But there are 6 stocks in that portfolio, only 20 stocks right now. 6 of them are up over 100%. So check those out. You can see what I'm buying each month. Premium subscribers get access to what I'm buying at the beginning of each month. So that'll be coming out at the beginning of March. And I also want to thank one of the brokers that I use. That is public.com. They are sponsoring this video. And here's a quick word from them.
All right, if you are serious about investing, you need to know about public.com. That's where you can invest in everything from stocks to options, bonds, and even crypto. They even offer some of the highest yields in the industry, like the bond accounts, 6% or higher yield that remains locked in even if the Fed cuts rates. What sets Public apart is how they give you the tools that you need to make informed investment decisions. Like their built-in AI called Alpha, it doesn't just tell you if an asset is moving, it tells you why the asset is moving, so you can actually understand what's driving your portfolio's performance. Now, Public is a FINRA registered, SIPC insured, US-based company with customer support teams that actually care. The bottom line, your investments deserve a platform that takes them as seriously as you do. You can fund an account in 5 minutes or less at public.com/ASYM and get up to $10,000 when you transfer in an old portfolio. That's public.com/ASYM. This ad was paid for by Public Investing. Full disclosure is in the video description.
I do want to start quickly with the stock move today. I'm recording this early on Friday, and shares are down about 21%, $52 per share. But look at this year-to-date chart, up 117% right now. 1 year, up 457%. So again, keep those things in mind. As this channel, I'm going to be covering stocks on a long-term basis. I'm not particularly concerned with what happens in one day, except when there's news. We need to know exactly what's going on. We need to put that in perspective of what the opportunity is long-term, and I think Hims and Hers still has a very bright future, but this is one of those points of uncertainty, semaglutide and GLP-1s, that we knew was coming. So we knew this was coming, but when do you sell the stock? Do you short the stock? I know that there are investors out there who have been shorting Hims and Hers, big short interest coming into 2024, and that's been a terrible trade because you just don't know where these things are going to go short term. So here's the big news for the day. The FDA clarified their policy on GLP-1s, and this is something that they've been updating periodically. You can go back on this page to updates every couple of weeks about what the shortage situation is. But they have determined that the shortage of semaglutide injection products has been resolved. So that means that these products are no longer on shortage. That shortage is what allowed Hims and Hers to sell semaglutide that they had compounded, and that's the product that they've been offering. I'll get to some of those offerings in just a second, why that was a compelling offering, why it was growing like crazy, and what the future of that looks like. But this is a shortage that's been resolved, and the details that you want to know are that for outsourcing facilities, 503B, that is the pharmacy that Hims and Hers now owns. They have one of those in-house, so that's another piece of their vertical integration. They can sell these until May 22nd, 2025. Now, there are other products that are still under shortage. They have talked about liraglutide being one that they could potentially start selling. I think there are probably plans to start that in 2025. And then there's also a generic product as well. So there are options for Hims and Hers. But this is the semaglutide that they have been selling that's been very successful, starting at $165 per month. This is what ultimately becomes attractive. And why is that? Well, they do sell some of these other branded products like Ozempic and Wegovy, but look at these prices. $1,500 per month for Ozempic, $2,000 per month for Wegovy. So the advantage of these compounded products has been that it has brought down the price by about 90%. That has expanded the market. That's allowed companies like Hims and Hers to just grow tremendously on the back of these GLP-1s. Now, we'll see what the future of these look like. But at least for now, it appears that we're going to have to go to some of these branded products or generics that may be available. They'll talk about that. Their conference call is going to be on Monday. I'm sure that we will hear a lot about what the future of GLP-1s in particular are. But let's put that short-term move to the side now. The news today is that Hims & Hers acquired a US-based peptide facility. Now, I've asked Hims & Hers to clarify some details around what exactly this is going to be used for, what sort of new products it allows. But let's just go based on what we know today from this press release. This peptide facility allows for a durable, domestic supply chain and meets the growth demands for Americans for personalized healthcare and treatment options. This is the trend for Hims & Hers, is not just providing stuff that's off the shelf that you can get at any pharmacy, but actually personalizing them even more. That's kind of their secret sauce, if you will. And this is pretty similar that we hear to other things. Healthcare's got to be centered around the customer. So they're going to scale these personalized care with more individual and higher standard of quality. So this is part of them buying a couple of pharmacies last year, within the last year or two. And that brought products like GLP-1s to the market. We don't know exactly what these products are going to be for this peptide facility, but they give us at least some ideas. Through this acquisition, the company in coming years is going to explore advancing in peptide innovation across areas like preventative health, metabolic optimization, cognitive performance, recovery science, and biological resistances. So Hims & Hers vertically integrating a little bit, bringing some of these pharmacies, peptide facilities, basically the supply that they need and the innovation that they need in-house. And then the idea is that they're going to be the funnel that's going to actually attract customers and then be able to provide personalized solutions for them. So there's all kinds of potential ways that this could go. They're going to be able to offer more and more solutions. Remember, earlier this week, they acquired an at-home lab testing facility, expanding capabilities to ultimately include affordable whole body testing for subscribers. There's a whole bunch of treatments that you could potentially get the information that you need from this at-home testing and then provide solutions that may be compounded. They may be peptides. We're going to have to hear more from Hims & Hers, and I think this is going to be one of their most interesting conference calls on Monday because they have a lot to kind of walk through and explain. But again, this is a platform company. That's the way that I think the market is kind of getting this wrong. They're thinking about Hims & Hers as a product company. Like customers go to Hims & Hers with, you know what, I need some GLP-1s. I need some hair loss treatment. But in the future, I think it's very possible that you go to Hims & Hers and you say, you know what, I maybe have these concerns, but what don't I know? Can we do this at-home blood testing and get some markers for what I should be treating or what I should be getting ahead of? Do I have high cholesterol? They're getting to the point where they can pull more information into the platform. Now you add in tools like artificial intelligence and the entire ecosystem of doctors, pharmacies that they're building out. I think this is ultimately going to be a very different looking company 5 or 10 years from now than it is today, getting a lot of attention for ED pills, hair loss, weight loss. But I think the long-term strategy is to be much, much bigger than that. This kind of acquisition, these 2 deals that were announced this week, those are moving the company in the right direction. The short-term move, the reason the stock is reacting the way it is today is obviously because of the news about semaglutide. And it's not surprising that the market is thinking that way because that is going to be a short-term hit to Hims & Hers' growth. After May, it wouldn't be surprising to see if that growth rate comes down from nearly 100% per year to potentially even negative. If they're not able to sell GLP-1s at all, that may come off in 2025. You may see some relatively weak results later this year, depending on what happens with GLP-1. So again, we'll find out more about that on Monday. But that doesn't mean that long-term, the platform isn't in a very good position and growing overall. So don't confuse the short-term reaction with the long-term potential and the long-term strategy that they're playing out with these acquisitions. So hopefully that's helpful in understanding Hims & Hers today. Again, I think you just need to take a long-term view. Do you think this is going to be a powerful company and a solidly positioned strategic company 10 years from now? If so, this is a phenomenal stock to hold. It's one that I hold in the Asymmetric portfolio. Actually, it was the biggest position before today, but there's definitely going to be short-term blips and volatility, depending on what happens over the next few months. Maybe some buying opportunities out there with Hims & Hers. But let me know what you think about the news over the past couple of days. These 3 items, the semaglutide shortage, the acquisition of the peptide facility, and then the acquisition of the at-home blood testing facility. Let me know what you think about those in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing, both here and then on the newsletter. And also, thanks to the sponsor, public.com. If you're looking for a phenomenal brokerage with some innovative solutions, check them out. There is a link in the show notes that'll get you started there. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next.